So when Nuclear Assault comes out, you personally, you've got a name because you were part of Anthrax, you were part of S.O.D. That style of music is starting to gain traction, starting to sell records. Did Nuclear Assault live up to your hopes and expectations, or did you feel like there was still more to accomplish?
No, I'm actually quite satisfied with what you'd want to call the career trajectory of Nuclear Assault.
Yeah.
Of course, not that I would concern myself with that when you formed the bands, but as far as what we accomplished, what we reached with the music we played, I really can't complain. I mean, sure, we never dented like the big four or something like that, but we also had songs like Hang the Pope, and I think we were more. There's a reason, we incorporated a lot more hardcore into our sounds, and so I think we were a bit edgier than stuff like the bands I was referring to, including a former band I played in. So considering what we sounded like and everything, I think I can't really complain about. We ended up headlining the Hammersmith Odeon, things, because, when you have that Motorhead album when you were a kid, No Sleep Till Hammersmith, and then like one day I'll play that place, and then you're like, oh, I guess we made it now. But
dude, when I did a gig there, and what you're saying is mirroring my thoughts. I mean, I'm standing on the stage and I'm going, okay, shut up, guys, I gotta say something. And I say something to the audience, is like, fucking long live Motorhead. I said something dumb, but I said the same thing at Cobo Hall because I'm a Kiss nerd. So
right.
Yeah, but yeah, that's impressive that you would headline a venue like that in a band like Nuclear Assault,
Yeah, that was pretty much the peak there. That was the Hansel with Care tour. Another cool thing that we did on that tour was we did like 10 or 11 dates supporting Slayer in the UK. And then the last gig randomly was in Zurich. So it was like 10, 11 shows in like England, Ireland, Scotland, and then we flew to Zurich, Switzerland.
But to do one show?
Yeah, and then we went home from there. Oh, the Swiss were psyched, though. Germans were like, you bastards, how come you didn't come here? But
got mad.
So,
was Tom Warrior around at the Zurich show?
Tom wasn't.
Oh,
but
Martin?
Years later, I met the guys in Sam Al, and one of the first things they said was, we saw you with Slayer.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
The evil voice, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Have you ever auditioned for a band that we would have heard of and it didn't work out for some reason? Because I see with you and your reputation and your connections in the circle that you come up from, I see like opportunities where, not that you would necessarily be interested, but I could see you throwing your hat in the ring to maybe join Metallica or Megadeth.
I knew this was going to be a Cliff Burton question.
well, not just Cliff, but also Megadeth, Voivod, even Ozzy Osbourne. Did anything ever come along that you tried out for that we don't know about that just didn't work out?
No, because at the risk of sounding arrogant, I'm like one of those guys who forms bands. I have like that drive and vision. I'm not a control freak, but I need to write a lot of music and just be fully. So, of course, now in that horrible time in September '86, the next time I went to see the Jeebies, I was getting a lot of elbows in the ribs from all my skinhead friends. You're going to join Metallica, dude? You're going to join Metallica, dude?
Mm.
And apparently it had been run by James, and then James went like, Danny Lilker? Nah. And that was it. I was over in 5 seconds.
Right.
I was told that secondhand. No, I've never actually auditioned for a band, and it hasn't worked out that any band that you guys would have known.
Yeah. That makes sense. Given, again, your history and your trajectory, I can see where you're sort of more comfortable being the captain of your own ship rather than...
There's a cat in the sink. You guys can't see, but there's a cat in the sink.
Is it your cat?
Yeah. It's our
Oh, okay.
cat.
Well, thank God it's your cat.
Plus.
If it's the cat just
Bring him over
in.
here, would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're a pet friendly podcast.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, there he is.
That's a.
This is Hank.
That's a
Hey,
big boy.
Hank. That's a big cat.
Yeah, and he's going to start squirming real soon, except he loves his daddy. What's up?
Awesome.
See,
What's
you're
up,
famous
Hank?
again.
Yeah.
Yep. King Diamond would have a cat that looks like this.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
King is a cat. King is a cat person as well.
Yeah, I was just curious because you do seem to run in those circles, and I know I was particularly interested in Voivod because I know you're a fan, and they're sort of a little more maybe in your realm than say maybe what Metallica turned into, or maybe even Megadeth. But I can understand you wanting to sort of steer your own ship.
If I may just throw my opinion up, that I don't care if anybody cares about it or not. I want to say I can see Dan in something like you're sort of fantastically creating here for fodder, Dave. I can see Dan doing something like that, but I can also see the worry of Dan being like realizing this. Wow, this is cool. I love these guys. Yeah. If I can't write songs the way I want them to be, I need to not do this. And it's danger of it being short-lived, maybe. I
mean, actually, as far as Voivod, I mean, we could circle back to that real quick. If at some point, I know that, after that, there was Blackie who came out, then there was that dude, Eric, who was actually, then he got in a fucking shitty car accident. Huh?
Jason Newsted.
And Jason Newsted, that's right, Jay Sonic.
Yeah.
If I had been offered a position in Voivod, as somebody who was a real big fan of the band, that would have been very much an honor. I would have been extremely flattered, but then there would have been logistical stuff. Is this in the internet age where I could still live where I live and go rehearse in Montreal once in a while or something like that? Because that's a band I've always respected intensely. And I would think that if it was the Voivod you're talking about now, if Rocky wasn't in the bands and, Daniel and Denise had called me up and said, hey, they would also know that I would have the right mindset to be able to create music with them and I wouldn't be shut out. But if it was an 86 Metallica situation, then that would have been quite different because, that's James and Lars's band.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And I believe that you would probably respect that and respectfully have to, as I was kind of saying, end up declining because, you start to think about it for a second. You need to have your freedom as a writer and a creator. And
that would be a horrible, it would be a horrible conflict, saying, oh, well, I might have financial security, but I have no creative freedom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that going in. So it's like, what am I doing here? I can't, it's not really going to work.
Well, I'm the fire breathing dragon. It's just
that's fine. Take your time, dude.
I can corrupt people though. If I ended up joining a band of that stature, I could just start fucking sneaking shit in here and there. But that wouldn't be. She shouldn't have to. Right. And again, it's not about being a control freak. I'm just used to like my position in a band, just like having this kind of vision, and I did it here. Well, actually, I did join a band in Rochester featuring Ron Crucifist.
Yeah,
Ron and I went on to do Nocturnal Hellstorm, but it was Ron and the other guys who approached me, and they wanted to. It was dudes who played in a doom metal band called Aradrune that wanted to also play some more brutal stuff, but didn't want to play it in Aradrune because it would have ruined their doom metal thing, which is completely understandable. Rather than kind of, muddy that up, just do another band and get all that shit out of your system. And we were at a Guar show, and they asked me. I know that wasn't the question, but
I wanted to get to that. I wanted to know how you met Ron. Ron is a coworker of mine, and when I first met him, we started this job at the same time. And Ron has long hair, and I immediately identified him as a rock and roll dude, and so we started talking. And it turns out we have a lot of the same interests. But when I mentioned Voivod and he clicked, I went, oh man, now I've found my people, because in my working world, in my professional career, in my white collar jobs that I've had, no one knows who Voivod is. So when Ron snapped to Voivod, I was like, okay, we're going to get along great. And then I worked with him for, a little while. And he tells me he used to be in a band with Danny. And I was like, what?
Wow.
So how did you meet Ron?
So do you think when they make the Joey Ramone biopic, Ron would be perfect?
Yeah.
Right?
For the record, I don't know Ron yet.
So. Well, he's super tall and lanky, and and he's a singer. Yeah, so he could pass. He could pass for Joey Ramone.
Nice.
Put the round shade.